Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to Empowered Aging. I'm your host, Dr. Elise Snipes. Today, we're talking about managing hormone changes to reduce inflammation, slow aging, and improve mood. And I'll give you a hint. When I say hormones, I'm not just talking about estrogen. We're talking about testosterone and his buddies, too. Estrogen, testosterone, progesterone, and DHEA are all hormones that decline with age. And they're all hormones that are involved in inflammation, aging, thinking, and other issues. It is possible to manage changes and even improve your health and mood with these simple activities. Let's talk about estrogen first. What does estrogen do? And yes, every single person on the planet has estrogen. It's not just people who are female. Estrogen normally supports anti-inflammatory actions, so that's your inflammation. It promotes brain cell survival, so that's your thinking. It helps maintain skin and bone health, including the thickness of your skin. And it helps improve mood and thinking. So estrogen's a good thing. But again, Goldilocks principle. We don't want too little, we don't want too much. We need it to be just right. Testosterone. And again, every person on the planet has it. You don't have to be male. Testosterone supports mood, energy, thinking, and brain cell survival, and reduces inflammation. So both of these sound very similar, and they are. But in men, testosterone is the dominant sex hormone, and in women, estrogen is the dominant sex hormone. So our dominant sex hormone is not only responsible for libido, but it's also responsible for reducing inflammation, promoting brain cell survival, maintaining skin and bone health, and assisting with our mood and our thinking or our cognition. Progesterone is neuroprotective, anti-inflammatory, supports nerve functioning, and regulates GABA. GABA is your main calming neurotransmitter. It's like your internal natural Valium. You want GABA. GABA helps relax your muscles, and your nerve functioning is important because that will help make sure that you can respond. Your reflexes are doing good. And all those signals that get sent out by your brain actually get to where they're supposed to be. DHEA is another hormone, and it's neuroprotective, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and it supports energy. Now, in other videos, we've talked about oxidative stress. Oxidative stress happens when your body produces basically junk from the activities of the day and from stress and whatever. There are byproducts that are created. Your body clears that out. But if you produce it, the junk, faster than your body can clear it out, it becomes very stressful. Think about working in a factory where normally you can keep up with all the boxes and wrapping and everything else that is produced when you're making your product. But if suddenly you're having to work double time, you're producing a whole lot more trash and junk, and it becomes difficult to do your job because clutter is building up around you everywhere and you can't move. So what do we do to address these things? Not everybody wants to go on hormone replacement therapy, and I get it. So what can you do instead so you can live your richest, most meaningful life? The first thing is to make sure you go to your doctor every year and get screened for insulin resistance and diabetes or prediabetes. Blood sugar levels trigger the stress response when they're too low or too high. Blood sugar levels that are not well controlled contribute to systemic inflammation and pain. So get screened for insulin resistance, vitamin D levels, B12, iron, and calcium levels. Those are all done through urine or blood tests. Super easy to do. And make sure you get your hearing screened. A lot of people don't think about their hearing, but we are in such an auditory world that it can become very stressful if you're straining to hear or straining to understand what people are saying. They found that when you strain to hear, it uses a lot more energy, increases your stress response, increases inflammation, increases aging and causes the person to have more difficulty thinking clearly. So getting your hearing tested and making sure that you are using any adaptive devices you have to their maximum, whatever they're supposed to be for you. Get regular physical activity. You don't have to go to the gym. You don't have to go jogging. Get up and move. Regular physical activity increases your breathing. It increases oxygenation. It increases your circulation. Your blood is bringing nutrients and oxygen to every part of your body. So if you increase how fast it's circulating, it's more efficiently delivering to every part of your body. Regular physical activity has been found to enhance antioxidants, so you're more efficiently cleaning out all that junk. It lowers inflammation, and it supports brain health. It's a win-win-win. The challenge is finding something you like to do for physical activity. Do you have a dog you like to play with? Do you like to garden? Do you like to walk? Do you like to do chair yoga? What is it that you like to do that gets you moving? Eat an antioxidant, which is a colorful, probiotic, pro-fiber diet. Basically, when you eat at each meal, if you try to have 3 colors on your plate, that will help you get more antioxidants in your system, so you're reducing that oxidative stress. Probiotics come from yogurt and some of your fermented foods, so if you can get those, that's great. And your fibers, these are actually called prebiotics, but those are actually kind of already packaged in your fruits and vegetables that are the colorful foods that you're eating. So if you eat fruits and vegetables, and I'm not saying you have to eat broccoli. If you hate broccoli, that's fine. But eating colorful fruits and vegetables increases your antioxidants, which helps reduce inflammation and slow cellular aging. It's a great thing. Get adequate, regular, quality sleep. When you're sleep deprived, it triggers the stress response, which increases inflammation, which reduces hormone availability if there ever was, if you have any more hormones. Some of us have gone through menopause or andropause, and our hormones are kind of in the toilet right now. Okay, but if we are getting adequate quality sleep, it reduces stress. When you are under stress, you are going to be foggier. You're going to have more brain fog. You're going to have more inflammation. You're going to have more irritability. That's just the way the system works. When you're stressed, the whole system is stressed. Getting quality sleep can help reduce physical stress on your body in so many different ways. Strengthening vagal tone. Now, your vagus nerve is the main nerve in your relaxation or your calming response. As we age and as our hormones go down, interestingly enough, our stress response becomes stronger and our relaxation response becomes weaker. We don't have as those hormones that are in there that promote GABA, that relaxation chemical. So our relaxation response, it's kind of running out of gas. It's going, I don't have anything to lift me up. So we need to work on that. By strengthening vagal tone, we help improve the functioning of our relaxation response by basically manually overriding the stress response. When we get stressed, our heart rate goes up, our breathing goes up, we may start to sweat. None of that is pleasant. We want to slow our heart rate and breathing. Some people will do deep breathing. That works for them. Great. If you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, and repeat. If that works for you, wonderful. Some people don't want to do that. They don't like doing that, whatever. Singing loudly can also slow your breathing because you inhale and then you project from your diaphragm. So that can help slow your breathing. Blowing bubbles, getting some of that bubble stuff that your kids or your grandkids like to play with, or hey, I still love to play with it. I actually put a little bit of essential oil of catnip in it and I blow it for my cats, and I blow the bubbles and they chase them, and it's great fun, but I digress. Blowing bubbles. Again, you're inhaling deeply and you're blowing to try to get a big bubble or a whole bunch of bubbles coming out at one time. All of those can help strengthen your vagal tone. When you start feeling stressed and you intentionally say, you know what, there's no threat, I can downregulate, and you help yourself downregulate, that starts balancing your stress and your relaxation, or your stress and your calming system. Interpersonally, oxytocin. Oxytocin is another hormone that we all have, and a lot of people think of it as the bonding hormone. And it's actually more of a survival hormone, but that's a different video. Oxytocin is released when we do something nice for somebody, when we're around people we like, through touch. Oxytocin's even released through hugs, through pressure. They've found that people, if you hug yourself tightly, it actually stimulates those oxytocin receptors because it reminds your brain of when your caregiver would hug you and help you feel safe. So pressure can release oxytocin. Being around people you like, as I mentioned, petting a dog can be helpful, or a cat, or whatever kind of animal you like. Being around something that makes you feel connected, that makes you have good feelings, even if it's one of those feelings of, aw, that will help you address stress in your life. Improving your self-esteem. Always, if you feel bad about yourself, you're going to be afraid of rejection or those sorts of things. So work on your self-esteem. Recognize what you are good at, why you are lovable, and that you are lovable for being you, not for what you do, not for what you've done, but for who you are. Forgiveness is another one. Forgiveness is huge in letting go of stressors. If we're holding on to resentments, we're holding on to guilt, we're holding on to this stuff, it takes a lot of energy. And that energy is stressful on the body. That stress on the body increases inflammation, increases brain fog. So we need to get rid of some of this unnecessary stuff and quit using your energy to be angry about something that happened in the past that you can't change. Use your energy to learn from it and figure out how you can free up that energy and use it to move toward the things that are important in your rich and meaningful life. Develop connection with others and a sense of security. A lot of people don't have a lot of faith in other people. They have insecure attachment. Developing a sense of connection and trust in other people can help you feel safer and more empowered. And working on your boundaries and your communication, your ability to say, these are my boundaries. Physically, you're too close. I need you to back up a step. Emotionally and cognitively, this is how I feel, or this is what I think. You don't have to share my feelings or opinions, but don't negate them because they're mine. And then environmental boundaries. It's your stuff. You don't want people going through your stuff or walking into your room. You want to be able to feel like your stuff is safe in addition to you being safe. And learning how to communicate that assertively and let people know, because sometimes they may not know they're violating your boundaries. Sometimes they may not understand that feels intrusive or that makes you feel unsafe. Telling them kindly, I know you didn't mean to, but that made me feel really uncomfortable. In the future, I would appreciate if you would knock on my door and wait for me to answer it instead of just putting in the key and opening it up. I see that a lot in assisted living facilities. Emotionally, now these are the negatives. We want to address these. You're not going to get rid of anger and anxiety. You have it to protect you, but you're not supposed to nurture it. Anger and anxiety are like a smoke alarm. It's a sensation that tells you to get up off the couch and figure out if there's a problem. It's not something you're supposed to carry around with you all day long. It's something that's supposed to spur you to action. Depression tells you that you are exhausted or you lost something that's important. Okay, so acknowledging that and figuring out how to deal with that feeling. If you're exhausted, what can you do to heal yourself? Because your body is saying, I'm out of gas and it's really stressful, but I don't know what to do about it. If you're grieving a loss, allow yourself time to grieve and work toward, in your own time, acceptance of that loss. And guilt. Guilt is anger at yourself for something you did that you shouldn't have done or something that you didn't do that you should have done. Figuring out how to come to acceptance of that guilt and forgive yourself is important. In addition to getting rid of excess distress, we also want to increase happiness. Laughter helps release oxytocin, and laughter also releases endorphins. Both of those are powerful, powerful anti-inflammatories. So laughing each day, whether it's watching a video on YouTube or playing with your dog, whatever it is that makes you laugh, if you can get a good belly laugh in each day, you'll be surprised at how much it may actually help change your perspective and, at least for a few minutes, help you feel better. Cognitively, it's important to get cognitive stimulation, to stimulate your brain, but don't overstimulate it. You can learn so much, work so hard that you can just be like brain fried by the end of the day. You don't want to be there. You want to exercise your brain, so to speak, enough to get blood flowing to it and get it moving, but you don't want to do it to the point of exhaustion. Cognitively, instead of focusing on the negatives and all the things that you can't do and that are out of your control, focus on what you can do, what you do have, and what is within your control. You can also use the mnemonic feel. We've talked about this one before. Focus on, when you're starting to feel distress, focus on the facts in this context. Is this really a threat? Is this in my control? Is this something that even really matters to me? What are the facts in this context? What are the exceptions to this? If you say this always happens or this never happens, well, what are the exceptions? When has it happened? Because sometimes we make things too extreme. You never pay attention to my feelings. Well, let's see. Maybe frequently they don't, but is never actually accurate. Explanations. Look for alternate explanations besides it's you or everything is catastrophic and the world is just falling apart. What are alternate explanations for why this might be happening right now that are either within your control and then you can do something about it, or something you can't control so you can determine how you will accept the fact that you can't control it. And finally, L stands for likelihood. There's a possibility anything could happen. I could get struck by lightning right now. There's a possibility. What's the probability? Well, it's sunny outside. There's not a cloud in sight. I'm indoors. Probability of me getting struck by lightning right now is almost zero. When we get stressed, a lot of times we assume things are more probable or more likely than they really are. So look at the likelihood that your beliefs are 100% accurate in both that whether they're going to happen, what's the likelihood that this will actually happen, and in intensity. Yes, there could be fallout from whatever it is. You could get bad news. That's true. But is it going to be bad news or is it going to be life-altering, earth-shattering news? And a lot of times we expect the worst. So what is the likelihood that it's going to be life-altering, earth-shattering news? Probably not huge. So prepare yourself. Yeah, it could be bad news, but you can handle that. So feel. Facts, exceptions, explanations, and likelihood. Focus for 20 minutes per day on what went right. As humans, we are actually programmed to notice the threats. And when you're stressed, you notice the threats almost exclusively. You ignore the positives in large part. By turning your attention, by forcing yourself to notice what went right for 20 minutes a day, you actually are strengthening pathways toward positivity and reducing stress. The other 23 hours and 40 minutes a day, if you want to be negative, that's your call. But for 20 minutes a day, and I encourage people to do it over a meal. Spend 20 minutes at that meal talking about things that are going right, that you're excited about, that make you happy. And then decide what you want to think about or talk about after that. And practice everyday gratitude. People often think of gratitude as something bigger than it actually has to be. Everyday gratitude is being grateful for the small things. I drove to the store and back today. I didn't get in a car wreck. I'm grateful for that. It's cooler today than it has been in weeks. I'm grateful for that. There's nothing going on in my life right now at this moment that's earth-shatteringly wonderful. But there's a lot of things that are going on that I'm grateful for. I'm grateful to be this side of the dirt this morning. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for my animals. One of my animals was having digestive upset yesterday, and we actually had good poops this morning. You cannot believe how excited I was about good poops. So being grateful for the little things, even poop. Environmentally, reduce stress by addressing smells that are noxious. They make you go, I don't want to smell that. And potentially adding pleasant smells that make you feel relaxed and content or nostalgic. Sights, the same way. If there's something that you regularly see that drives you nuts, try to figure out how to get rid of it so you don't have to see it all the time. And add things around your environment that you like to look at, that make you feel calm or happy. Sounds, if they're too loud or if they're just of a certain tone, can really grate on your nerves or give you a headache. That's going to increase stress. What can you do? It may be investing in a good pair of earplugs or getting earbuds that filter out background noise because there's just too much chaos going around. It could be putting on music that you like. Whatever it is important. And as long as we're talking about sounds, if you have tinnitus, if your ears ring, that can be really annoying and really stressful. And they do have a variety of apps that you can find on your cell phone that actually can help you find a type of sound or a type of music or background noise that will almost drown out the ringing and can give you some relief. So there are options out there. In terms of temperature, too hot, too cold, never good. Finding what is just right for you. And paying attention to your ergonomics. If you sit a lot, wherever you're sitting, make sure it is comfortable and it's not causing you to lean to one side or to be all cramped up or something so that you end up with a kinked neck or a kinked back. Same thing at night. Sleeping ergonomics is important for getting quality sleep. If you're not comfortable, if you're tossing and turning, you're not getting quality sleep. And it can be as simple as getting a pillow that actually works for you, that supports your head enough, but it's not so stiff or so soft that it doesn't do what you need it to do. Stress and aging both reduce hormones that help the body slow aging, reduce inflammation, and manage thinking and emotions. By reducing stress, you reduce inflammation and oxidative stress, which turn down the heat on inflammation and aging. By increasing oxytocin, GABA, and serotonin, which all happen when you reduce stress, you increase your body's ability to slow aging, reduce inflammation, manage thinking, and help you regulate your emotions. If this was helpful, please remember to click the little like button down there and click subscribe to be notified each time I release a new video.